welcome back to my YouTube channel and another tutorial. This one is Christmas designs in gel polish. They're all simple. So the first one we're going to look at are simple icicles. I'm starting with a pre-prep tip and I've edited a lot of this out because it is quite a long video anyway, because there's 10 designs. So I've put a colour down and I've added a matte top coat. I'm just showing you there that we're going to paint with, I'm using a 9mm liner brush from my Baubles brushes and some liner gel. These liner gels do have brushes in the lids, so you can use those as well. Just painting a quick line across the top, which just bows down at the edges. It's going to be a bit of snow or ice across the top. Then what I'm going to do is just draw some slightly wiggly lines down with the brush, and these are going to be our icicles. Now all of these designs are really simple. Nothing's going to have a huge amount of detailing. They're all just going to be really basic designs, the sort of stuff that anybody can do at all, and anybody that's really phobic of nail art can get involved in this. They're really quick designs as well for the salon. So what I'm doing here is I'm just rounding off. So where I did a line across the top and a line down, they've got very square edges. So I'm just making those rounded. As you can see, I'm going over. And then what I'm going to do is go back with the gel and thicken some of these icicles up, going along with the wigglies, keeping it all kind of similarly wiggly, if that makes sense. And just deciding maybe I want that one a bit longer. Maybe I want that one a bit thicker at the top. You could add in here some ice, some snowflakes, some dots. You could chuck some glitter on top of that before you cure it. But what I'm going to do is cure that, and I'm going to give it a shiny top coat, which is what you can see here. And that is just an absolutely basic icicle nail. You can add that in as part of a set. You could use a gel polish, this is Snowfall, and you could paint that over the top of the ice, or you could give that a really thin coat like a glitter top coat. Okay, so for design number 2, we're going to look at Christmas trees. I'm going to show you 2 really simple ideas for Christmas tree designs. Now I've done a matte nail again, and this is matte top coated. The colour there is Forest from Baubles. I'm using the gold liner gel from the liner gel set, and again you could use the brush straight out of the pot really, but what I'm going to do is just decant some out onto my palette, just showing you how good the brush is there. And they're actually amazing, and it makes it even quicker because you don't have to decant onto a palette and use the brush. But I just want to show you what we're going to do is we're going to basically mark out where we want the tree, which is a triangle, and then we're going to use that triangle as a guideline, and we're going to fill that in with a zigzag of gold paint, like you would kind of see the tinsel on a tree, but we're only going to put the gold line in, so it's like a representation. So what I'm doing here for people that are new to nail art or nail art phobic, and that's what this video is for, absolute beginners to nail art, is we're going to use base gel or top coat, either or, and we're going to paint onto this matte base. And what we're going to do is draw out this triangle. Now this is a matte base and top coat is shiny and it's no wipe, so I would use top coat, much easier. We're going to draw out our triangle, and I'm going to give that a flash cure, 10 seconds or so, and that's got no sticky layer, and it's on there. That is on there. So we're going to use that as a guideline. Now we're going to start at the top and we're going to just do a zigzag. The zigzag can be perfectly straight lines, or it can be kind of curved lines like it's tinsel that's sort of draped across a tree, and that is totally up to you. So these lines, you can see on the marker where you need to go to. You can go slightly over them, you can go slightly less than them, but you're just zigging and zagging back between the lines that you've marked out, and it makes it really easy to see. Now if you were going to do a matte top coat over this, I probably wouldn't mark it out, but I'm going to go shiny over the top. So once you put a shiny top coat over this whole design, you're not going to see that guideline, and if you do see it, it's going to literally be if you had your eye an inch from the nail. But it is a fantastic marker. So I've done that tiny zigzag at the bottom just to indicate like the trunk of the tree, if you like, but you don't have to do that. You can just do the triangle if you want. I've given that a cure, and I'm going to just crack on with the shiny top coat, and you can see there you can add a little star on top if you wanted, a little bit of snow underneath, or even if you felt like you wanted to add some balls, and everybody loves to add a ball onto a nail. Chuck your balls on. So then for the next tree design, we're going to do something, another basic design. I've started with a blue base, again with a matte top coat. And I'm going to draw on with the green liner gel with the brush straight out of the bottle, 2 green triangles, and they are going to be our trees. Okay, I'm just going to fill those in. They don't need to be particularly thick or particularly perfect. These are trees, and all of these designs are basic. They are impressions, and they're just going to be really cute little designs. So once you've got those on and you're happy with your shape, so I've got one in the foreground and I've got a little one in the background. I'm curing that. I've decanted out some green glitter gel polish, which is a Money Talks colour from Baubles, and they do this in acrylic as well, which is really cool for this time of year because it's a really beautiful Christmassy colour. I'm just adding a coat of that over the top, and I'm curing that on as well. So now we've got some just glittery little trees. I'm literally going to add some slightly wavy lines of white to indicate snowdrifts, and that is it. That is going to be the whole design, and again, really basic, really cute, just sparkly triangle trees and some little snowdrift lines, which I really like. I really like the simplicity of it. Again, you could add little clouds on, you could add some tinsel or baubles on the tree, even though they're outdoor trees, that doesn't make any difference really. You could add all sorts of stuff actually. You could put a reindeer in the background, you could put a snowman there, you could put dots for snow falling, you could put clouds on, yeah, anything you like really. But this is literally level 1, base level. So this is the design with top coat on it, and it's all finished, and I actually love them. I love these really basic designs. They are super beautiful and super cute. Okay, so on to design number 3, and we're going to look at some really basic holly. So I've prepped my tip. I've done a pale background so that you can see, and I'm using the forest colour of gel polish from Baubles. Now I'm going to do my central line of the holly, so each of these lines is the middle line through the holly leaf, and I'm just going to draw 3 just to show you the technique I use for my really simple holly. So I'm drawing the lines for the central line, and then I'm drawing 2 very short lines across, and I'm going to do that on all 3. You can do one at a time if you prefer. You can cure each stage as you go along if you prefer, but I find if you draw the central line and the 2 lines across, you can move the gel around. So if you cure in between, they won't move and you need to add more. So what I'm doing now is I'm just curving between those points. So I'm curving the edges like we did with the icicles in design 1, so that they're not square. I'm just curving them round, and I'm using the gel that I've already put on those lines. So if you can see what I'm doing there, I'm curving those out. I'm pulling some of these points down a bit just to make it look a bit more holly-like. Pulling that little bit out until I'm happy with the shape. And then I'm going to do the rest exactly the same technique. So a little bit gel on my brush. I'm just going to curve these lines outwards, and then just curve that one down, and then that one down. And you can make them, you can sort of pull the gel around, because these holly leaves aren't going to be huge, they're going to be quite small. So the gel that you've run along the middle and those sideways lines are, it's going to be easy to move all that stuff about until you're happy with the shape. So I'll just let you watch the end one there. I've not sped this up for some reason. Obviously I want you to just sit and watch me paint holly leaves. Very cute. I do like a bit of holly at Christmas, it's very sweet. Okay, so we've got our holly leaves, and you're going to pop that in and give that a cure when you're happy and you finish faffing. I've not finished faffing by the looks of it. There we go. Right, pop him in, Lisa. Get him in for a cure. Holly leaves. Cool. So the next bit we need are the berries, and I'm going to use the gel liners straight from the pot. This red is amazing. It's a perfect colour as well. And I'm literally just going to do the little berries in between the leaves. And I'm going to blob them on, and they are literally going to stay as 3 blobs. I'm not going to do highlights, lowlights, nothing. So there we go, there's the finished design. I have popped a top coat on that so it's all shiny. You could, if you want to, draw the central lines in a darker colour or a black, but they look great as they are. Alright, design number 4 is something a bit different, and I'm going to show you this sort of ribbon and bow effect. Now you could draw it across as a cross, which would be down the centre and down the sort of the centre horizontally, but I'm going to place it off centre because it tends to be that it just looks slightly more pleasing to the eye. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to make this ribbon out of a glitter gel polish. Now this glitter gel polish I'm using is called Magenta, and it is from the premium glitter gel collection from Baubles. It's really pigmented and it's really glittery, as you can see, so you can actually use it as a colour. Some glitter polishes are just glitter suspended in clear, and you would need to do a base colour underneath if you wanted to achieve this sort of look, and then put the glitter over the top. So down one side of this I'm also going to use some silver, and this is the silver gel liner paint out of the same set as the other colours I've been using, and I've just decanted it onto the palette rather than using it straight out of the pot. I'm going to make sure that that is all cured, and then I'm going to do the horizontal line of the ribbon as well. So we're just creating a cross, but I've made it slightly off centre, so the vertical line is slightly to the left and the horizontal line is slightly higher. So you need to decide now whether you're going to do the silver line on the top or the bottom, because it would depend which way round your ribbon was, wouldn't it? So that's just total personal preference. So you've got your lines there, and that looks pretty cute. I'm loving that. We're going to give that a full cure. Then we're going to draw on a really, really basic bow. Now we're going to do the bow diagonally from the centre. We're going to do a blob and 2 triangles. So I'm using this paint, which is Enchanted, the colour. I'm going to start here so you can see that that's created a bit of a triangle there from the centre, which is absolutely perfect. So you've got your little blob in the middle, and then a triangle one side, which you're just going to fill in. So I've sped this up a little bit. And then you're going to have a little triangle, sort of triangle shape the other side, and that's going to create your bow. And then you're going to have a little bit of the bow string or ribbon or whatever, 2 wiggly lines, and it doesn't really need to be perfect. Pop that in for a cure, and then we're going to add the tiniest bit of detail onto here. So grab some white, and what we're going to do is go round the edge of this bow, and that is it, just to give it a bit of outline. So go round this middle bit of the bow, just to give it a little bit of definition. Then we're going to go around the outside of the triangles and the other side. God, I don't spend this much time actually wrapping presents and putting bows on real presents as I have dedicated to the time of nail art when it comes to bows and Christmas. So I'm just doing a little bit of a white line on one side of those ribbons as well to keep it all sort of looking the same. Then I'm just doing 2 little lines from the middle blob outwards, and you'll see what I mean. Two little lines, and it's kind of where the bow would be ruffled in the middle. Quite cute little lines, and that is it. That is as much as you need to do for a little bow on a present. You can do any colour background, any colour for the bow, any colour for the ribbon. Looks absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to give that a cure and a shiny top coat as always, and that's the finished look. Really, really sweet, really quick, really simple. Okay, on to number 5. So I'm starting off with a pale blue matte tip, and we're going to create a brown mound. So this brown mound is going to be Rudolph. I love reindeer, and I love the Christmas reindeer. So we're just going to literally do the quickest, cutest little Rudolph. It does work really well on a stiletto nail, but you can adapt this for any shape of nail. I'm using the stiletto tips because they give me the biggest area to show you on. So we've just done this mound, and I'm just adding his little half leaf shaped ears on the edges in the same colour. We're popping that into cure and curing as we go along. So now we need to add some antlers onto Rudolph. You can do these in black, or you can do them in grey, you can do them in any colour, you could do them in pink if you really wanted to, but I'm doing them in brown because we are sticking to really simple nail art. So this is going to be really sort of cartoonesque stuff and not at all realistic, but really cute. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, so we're just painting on some really quick and easy antlers. So 2 long bits with 2 prongs on each side coming out, and I've cured that. I'm going to do 2 white ovals for Rudolph's eyes. I'm painting them on in blobs. Very cute. And at the end of that pointy face, once I've cured that, we're going to pop on, oh no, we're going to do the black bits of his eyes. And you need to decide which way he's looking, that way or this way or up or down, or whether he's got cross eyes or what. So we're going to just pop on the pupils of his eyes, which again are just going to be dots. So really, really simple stuff. Really simple. But I do love a Rudolph. Look at him. He's so cute. And there's his nose, which is just going to be the whole end of the nail. And you could just do it as a little round dot if you wanted to, if it was a square or a coffin or even a short nail. I'm going to use a little bit of white just to give him a little shine. A little bit of shine. You could do some white on the edges of the antlers, which is what I'm trying to indicate to you there, or you could use the white to outline the ears. So here he is, all finished and top coated, again in shiny. You could outline him in black if you wanted to. Oh, I love him. I love him the way he is. Lovely little Rudolph. You could stick a crystal on the end, that would be beautiful as well. Alright, okay, so on to number 6. God, we're burning through these so fast. So fast. What did I tell you? So this one is going to be our Santa. We've had Rudolph and we need to have Santa as well. So you need to decide, because we're going to start with the bottom of his hat and where it meets the face. So depending on the length of your nail, you're going to want to measure out where you're going to want Santa's hat to come down to. That's where we're going to start it, or you could sort of start from his nose or wherever, but it's easiest in this design to start from the hat. So I'm going to just place on with my red gel liner with the brush straight out of it this wiggly bit, and below that I'm going to do a the kind of fluffy edging, the fluffy trim. So this bit is just filling in. Okay, it doesn't have to be really neat. You're just getting your colour on at this point. Okay, so we've given that a quick cure. Now you want to do the fluffy trim, which will line his face, and the bit below it is going to be his face with his nose. We're going to cut that off, and the rest is going to be his beard. So where this meets, this white fluffy trim meets his face, we're going to use the colour that we'll use on his skin, and I've just used a standard pink colour. You can use any colour that you like, and I'm just going to paint the face as a really rough outline, just so I've got the proportion and the size. So I'm just going to roughly outline, like sketch with the gel. That's where his eyes are going to be roughly, because they're just going to be like Rudolph's. And then his nose is going to be a sideways oval. So his eyes are upright ovals and his nose is going to be a sideways oval. So that's where his nose is going to be. And then I'm going to mark on the sides where his beard's going to come in. So it's going to come from here, and the other side as well is going to come from here. So everything below that is going to be beard, and everything above that, that's all going to be pink. So I'm just literally going to fill all of that in and give that a cure. So I'm going to use a slightly darker pink, and what I've done here is taken the skin colour that I've decided to use and mix it with a tiny bit of the red liner, and you can see that on the palette. That's what I've done. I'm just drawing his nose in with that colour. You can shade it if you like, and you can do a graduation of colour, or you can do it like a rosy nose, because Santa's always depicted as having like a bit of a rosy nose. So I've done that, and then I'm going to pop his eyes on. So they're going to be like upright ovals resting on top of that nose. So they're going to have this sort of shape where you can see the top of the oval and the bottom of the oval is kind of flat, and it's shaped the same as the top of the nose. So if you have a look at that design, you can see where I'm going with that. Just pulling that corner down to make the shape a bit better. And you can see this design already is starting to come together, and that's really quick and easy. Okay, we want to put a little smiley mouth on Santa because he's always a jolly fellow. I don't really want to draw an entire mouth on him. He's a little cartoon character, so I'm going to give him a little side smile. There you go, little side smile. And with the black, you're going to put in the pupils of Santa's eyes, and he is going to be looking straight ahead, not off to the side like Shifty Santa, or boss-eyed like, I don't know, like Drunk Santa. I don't know. You can draw him however you like, really. Your client might want boss-eyed Santa. Who can say? So I'm just drawing these little C shapes on the fur trim in a very pale grey, and that's just to give you like a little illusion of floof. You could draw that on his beard as well if you really wanted to, or even a few lines of grey just to break up the white, but actually I quite like it really simple as it is. So this really is the complete Santa design. You could give him some little eyelashes, you could give him some shading, you could do all sorts of stuff. Here's another little line of light on his nose, the same as we did with Rudolph, which I think is very sweet. And those little eye shines, so little dots in the pupils of his eyes. So I'm giving that a cure, and then I've popped on a shiny top coat again, just to let you see this is the finished article, and that would be super cute on one hand with Rudolph on the other. So there you go. We're going to pop into design number 7. Design number 7 is kind of a flat sweater nail design. So if you look on the other videos in my channel, there is a sweater design tutorial, and it shows you how to sugar the design so they're 3D. This is just a flat technique. It's exactly the same, but we're not sugaring it. We're literally just drawing the pattern in different colours, and it's gonna just look great. So what I've done is marked out these 2 gold lines to break up the design. So we've got a column down the middle. I'm going to use that magenta, which was that really pink glitter gel polish again, which is really, really beautiful. And I'm going to do this sweater design where you're doing the downwards line and then going across and down again, and these are stepped so that they all fit together, and it's quite a common sweater nails design, but we're not going to make this 3D. We're literally just using the colours, and it's just a pattern more than anything else. So really love this sweater nails design. Doesn't have to be perfect, and I'm going to go down the edges with dots with the colour, and then go across, and what I'm doing is looking across to make sure I get those dots even, which makes it lovely. And I'm going to cure that, and I'm going to top coat it, and that is pretty much the entire design absolutely finished. So there you go. Beautiful. Following on from this design, you can also adopt other designs, and what I'm doing here is making a sweater nails design with a dotting tool and gel polish, and this is again really, really easy. This looks like I've got this totally on the wonk, but where these tips are so curved side to side, if I've got it slightly tilted one way or the other, it looks like the design's on the wonk, but don't worry too much. So I've done some lines down the centre, some dots. So they're not even lines, are they? Okay, whatever. Shouldn't do videos this long if I can't keep up. Right, dots down the middle, and then I've done dots on the sides halfway down. So you can see what I'm going to aim to do is create a diamond shape with dots. So I'm just going from one to the other with dots and gel, dot dot dot, and then I'm going to keep going. You could flash cure in between if you wanted to. And I'm going really quickly. They're not 100% straight, but they don't really have to be, and it's, you know, you can go a bit slower than I can. And I was just trying to show you what you can achieve in a really quick, speedy video. Flash cured that one. Then I'm going to do the sweater design on the inside. So this is like, is this a cable knit design? I don't know. Do you know what? I said the same on the sweater nails video, and then actually never found out, so I don't know. But you're going to do your dashes on the diagonal one way and diagonal the other way, so it looks like it's knitted. And I'm just using a really pale grey, which is a similar colour to the background but slightly different. And I'm just adding some bits on the end, flash curing it. I'm going to matte top coat that, and I think that's quite a cute little groovy design. You can use that on part of the nail or all of the nail or whatever, really. So design number 8 we're going to hop into, and we're just going to paint balls. I'm taking that magenta again because it's such a pigmented glitter polish. I'm only going to have to use one coat, which is ideal. I'm just painting a round shape and filling it in and then curing it, and that is it. That is it for my bauble. And then I'm literally taking a thin liner brush with gold. I'm going to start in the middle of the ball I'm going to place the brush onto the nail and drag that upwards, so you just make a gold line, and that is your string for your ball. Then we're going to paint on the little bow, because you know as well as I do that when they put strings on these things you have to tie them on. So if you turn the nail sideways, and you can turn your client's hand sideways, I mean they don't always want to turn sideways, but I mean you can. You're just going to paint like a figure of 8. I can just see all this text now, like bending their client's hands around sideways. Perfect. Don't tell them I told you that. Anyway, back to the bow. Paint yourself on a figure 8, and that's for your bow, and then you want your 2 little strings dangling down in gold as well. So there's one. Get a little bit more. This gold is so lush, it goes over these colours, really pigmented colours or glitter colours or anything. It just goes straight over one coat. Perfect, perfect. I'm going to use a little bit of white to do those shine lines. So if this was a glass bauble, you would have those little white shine lines where the light was reflecting on it, and I'm going to do one a little bit round that side as well. I'm just going to drag the top of that out because that looks a little bit blunt, and I'm going to give that a cure and give that a shiny top coat, and that is the design finished. Well, I'm not, look, I'm saying it, but it's a lie. Literally running a little bit of white down the side of that string just to give it a bit of depth, really. But here is the final product after it's been cured and top coated. There you go. So cute. And you can do those in so many different colours as well and designs. But it's a really quick, simple, effective way to do baubles on nails. So, on to number 9. Oh God, we're so close to the end of this video already. Right, we're starting off with a white base. We're going to do a basic gonk. And everybody is gone gonking mad at the minute. So a gonk is like a little, like a gnome. And I always think with these that the simpler the better, really. But I always start with the nose. So the nose is just a sideways oval, and over the top we're going to do a droopy hat. So we're going to draw this top line over his nose, because you don't ever see their eyes. And then you're going to draw like out a rough triangle, because gnomes sort of have triangular hats, but this one, his hat is going to bend over to the side, and then it's kind of going to droop, and then it's going to have like a little ball on the end. There you go. So with your blue then, or whatever colour you do his hat, blue, grey, pink, orange, whatever, just flesh that hat out a little bit, but don't worry about shading or details or anything like that. And then at the bottom around the nose, the hat is going to flop over, so we're just going to flop that down the side of the nose as well, okay? And then you just want to fill that in, and you're going to want to give that a cure. So grab some grey, and we're just going to paint some lines coming from his nose, imagining there is whiskers and beard hairs. While that's still wet, pop your paintbrush into the white or a different shade of grey and run those streaks through again. So the same sort of pattern, but over the top of the wet polish. And what will happen is they will sort of not blend together, but it will give you a more sort of organic feel. Now I've taken some of the blue I made his hat with and added a bit of white, and I've just put a few little lines across his hat, a line of light on his nose, and I've top coated him, and I've just made him look really cute. He's literally a nose, a hat and a beard on a nail. So easy, so easy. Right, the last design I'm going to show you are super simple candy canes. Now I've prepped my tip and I've used white just so I can show you. This candy cane now, you need to decide whether you want your stripes this diagonal or the other diagonal, and really I think it depends on the rest of the set, and it also depends on how you feel comfortable painting. So this direction for me is easier, but for other people it might be the other way. Oh, excuse me, that was a really big yawn. It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just sat like doing voiceovers for all my videos. Oh, you know, it's really dark now. So these are the candy stripe nails, and using these brushes straight out of these liner gels makes it so much easier. So much easier. So you want to try and get your lines even, and I would say work as a red on top of a white base rather than white on top of a red base. So that's just a basic candy stripe. And then if you want to do actual candy canes, they are just as easy. So I've got a white base, and then I'm going to make the candy canes out of red gel polish, and we're just going to paint on a basic cane design, full red. Okay, and I'm going to do another, I'm going to elongate that little bent over bit, and then I'm going to paint another one on further down the nail. And you could actually just make this into a feature nail design, and that, I think that would be absolutely perfect. Maybe even just pop some holly up the top, or a little bit of glitter on there. So what we're doing now is we're using the smaller brush, the very small brush, and we're just going to paint some diagonal white lines onto here. And as you get to the bend, I'm just tidying those up a little bit. As you get to the bend, they're going to get closer at the bottom and further away at the top, and they're going to sort of bend around the candy cane. Okay. We'll do that again. Stripes diagonally, and then they're going to bend around at the top, so they're going to get closer on the underneath of the bend and further away at the top. Absolutely perfect. That's going to have a quick cure and a top coat, and there you go, there you have it. So that's our 10 designs. Really basic stuff. There's nothing really to it. Let me know how you get on. I really enjoyed doing these. This is part 1 video. There are another 10 designs coming in the next video. There is also an advanced workshop that I have got on Facebook, which is a paid workshop as well, which are the much more advanced versions of these. So if you want anything else, or let me know how you get on in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy Christmas painting!